Welcome back, world, to another edition of Toronto Carnival Chat. I'm your host, Kevin Carrington. I hope everyone's enjoying the programming thus far. Now, one of the unmistakable elements of Carnival is the sound. And one of those sounds is none other than the sweet, that tickle in your ear of the steel pan. And you know what? I was supposed to be doing an interview with Earl Lapierre, Sons of Steel, Pan Man on duty, but I don't seem to see him. I have this other individual here. Excuse me, sir. Sir, I'm looking for Earl Lapierre.
See, this is what you're looking for? Is this what you're looking for?
Hold on a second. Remove the mask there. Hold on, remove the mask.
Is this what you're looking for? Tell me, is this what you're looking for?
Stop the presses. Stop the presses. Hold on. Oh!
What a difference a day makes, eh?
What a difference a day makes. People, I just saw this man not too long ago, literally yesterday. Dreads, COVID beard. You saw the post.
Yeah.
What a difference a day makes. Man, you're looking good, boy. You clean up for me?
Reds, I knew I was doing this interview and I was like, yo, I'm coming to shock the world. I'm coming to shock the virtual world right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what it is. It's called the COVID reset. Hashtag COVID reset.
People, if you don't know already, we're talking to resident pan man on duty, none other than Earl Lapierre Jr. himself, the cleaned up COVID version of Earl Lapierre. Man, the fade looking crisp.
Yes, sir. Actually, my brother, I call him my brother, known him for years. He just opened up his own shop in Ajax area, black business. I was his first customer. I was like, bro, I want to be your first customer. I'm so proud of you. You finally got your own place, and he's doing his own thing. A little off the top. Elijah, my brother Jeff, the barber.
Well, shout outs to Jeff, the barber. Shout outs to all the Toronto businesses that continue to support the carnival and continue to support the culture. Hey, guys, you're looking for a fresh fade for post-COVID? Make sure you check out your boy, the barber, Jeff.
Yeah, man. And they just opened today. Today's the first day, so they're opening, people. Nice. Have faith. Nice. Yeah,
that is really, really good. I'm no stranger to being a barber myself. Still try to cut my own hair every now and then. I'm ready for a fade as it goes. But again, you're looking crisp. You're sounding crisp. Yesterday, I heard you. And for those of you who don't know, we were speaking with Earl Lapierre just yesterday, and he was taking in the Walk of Excellence celebration that was in the Jane and Finch community. How about we just take a look?
And right now, we are live on location here in Jane and Finch Mall, here in beautiful North York. And I have the great pleasure of speaking with one of the baddest men on steel pan here in the 6, none other than Earl Lapierre. Man, how you doing, pan man on duty?
I'm blessed, man, and I'm so glad to be here. The community, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to live here. I used to live in our apartment right there, the 2nd floor. Really? Swear to God.
So what does it mean to be back in the community playing pan?
Well, this is where it all started, especially for my dad, right? Right down the street there's Westview. That's one of the schools that was the first schools in Ontario in Canada to actually have pan. Down the street there's Fairgrove, another one of the schools that used to teach that. So my dad is very instrumental in bringing pan to Canada. So it always makes me feel good to be back here.
And we're here today celebrating the transition of pan from a few of the secondary schools to the tertiary level. How amazing is that to see how far pan has come?
Wow, it's unbelievable because pan's in all schools now. Not to say all schools, a lot more schools. Like, it makes me proud to see it used to just be in this community alone. Now it's all over, from the Durham community. Pickering has a couple of school bands as well. Mississauga has it. Yeah, so it's like all over the greater GTA, like we like to say, and that makes me happy.
So again, welcome back to Toronto Carnival Chat. I'm speaking with Earl Lapierre Jr., again, panist, the pan man on duty. And what a difference a day makes. The man's got a fresh fade. And you know what? Again, now that you've had a moment to sleep on it and you look back at, at being out in the community, kind of let me know, what was it like to be out in the community, playing pan in the community that you grew up in, that your dad taught in, and just being able to give back. Tell me what that experience was like now that you've had a chance to let it marinate.
Wow, honestly, what a feeling, because I've been inside. I haven't really gone much places other than the grocery, pick up my dinner. That's it. I've not done a gig since I can almost say like last year. I feel like it's been last year. You know what I mean? Even though it's 6 months ago, but technically since I came back from Carnival, there has been no gigs. Everything just stopped. So the gigs have been at home doing virtual things. But yesterday, actually going out and seeing people, and it is at the point, even when I saw you, it's like normally I see you and hey, Kev, man, we'll hug it out and we'll bounce and thing. And now it's like, hey, How are you, bro? It's that odd feeling, you know what I mean? We still have that odd feeling, but we're so appreciative, we're so grateful, we're so blessed. Just the fact that we were able to go outside yesterday and see friends who we haven't seen in ages. It seems like we haven't seen them in years, but it was a
Right.
nice feeling. And being in the Jane and Finch community, especially, wow, amazing, man. Because to be honest, I haven't been in that area like that, like standing up in Jane Finch Mall parking lot in Lord of mercy, years. Yes, you've drive by, you might have pumped a gas, you might have gone for a little food, but you haven't really been in that community. And it was great because, like you said, my dad was very instrumental. Him and Uncle Pat, very instrumental in bringing Pan to Canada back in the 60s. They were instrumental in getting it into schools. Westview, Fir Grove, those schools up in Jane and Finch area were the first set of schools that got it. You know what I mean? So they
Right.
got Pan, and students were able to play Pan, and then it got even further where became a credit course at some high schools and that sort of thing. And now all over the GTA has Pan, from Whitby to Brampton to Mississauga to you know what I mean to Pickering. It has Pan in their schools, so it's a great feeling. That's a great feeling.
It truly is. Now, have you had a chance? You mentioned your father. Have you had a chance to connect with him? I believe he's not in town right now, is he?
No, resides in Cayman Islands. So like when he came here, brought Pan here. He brought Pan to Cayman Islands, schools and stuff going on there. So he's doing virtual schools. I hear he's doing good. We haven't communicated real tough. We're in an Afropan group, so I know he's all right because I see the pics and the stuff that he be posting, but I haven't spoken to him. We wanted to see if he could have come on this, but I'm asking him to hook up all of this thing might have been our problem. So yeah. Yeah,
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned your father, and you mentioned your father because you didn't grow up with your father. So it's so interesting that you two followed in the same footsteps. Tell us a little bit more about how that came to be.
Well, you know what? It's in the blood for sure because even my oldest brother Noel, he didn't grow up with that neither, and he's full out Pan man as well. There's only one son, technically, because Caribbean men, and people will laugh at that. One son that we know of, yeah, turn your head. One son that we know of, my brother Adisa. He's the only one who really didn't gravitate to the Pan. But he's still in music. He did audio and sound technician and that sort of thing. He's an audio tech, so he did his thing. But we're all into music, but me and my Sons of Steel, Noel, Jimmy, and myself, die hard into Pan, man. This is what we do for our living.
And have you had much opportunity to play alongside your father and your family?
Well, being in Afropan, and Afropan is one of the oldest running steel bands here in Toronto and in Ontario with the biggest amount of history, with the most victories and that sort of thing. Summertime, yes, we play, you know what I mean? But other than the show that we put on, Sons of Steel, where it was me and my brothers, and we have my dad as a special guest, so he gets to come on the bill. And then at the end, maybe we do a finale. We all come together and play together. That was one of the things that brought us together was the music. You know what I mean? We all play music. We all had that love for music, so we could all relate that way. So when I came up with the whole Sons of Steel thing, was like for me and my brothers to get out of the shadows, because everybody's always Earl Jr. or your Earl Senior son, you play Pan because your dad, but we all have different styles. I could play the same song as my two brothers, and we all will play it different renditions, different interpretations. You know what I mean? So we all have different styles. So it's nice when we have the Sons of Steel show that they get to see all elements from the dads to the three sons.
And that's actually amazing to see, again, the many generations of Pan just within your family getting to perform together. And I guess that's one of the, also present company included, one of those, maturity lessons. As much as you try to be different than your teacher, no matter how much you try, sometimes just, again, things don't change. The apple don't fall far from the tree, or the pan don't fall far from the drum. I don't know, something so. But
we'll find something. We'll find something.
We'll find something.
The stick don't fall far from the pan. Yeah, there you
go. There we go. How long has it been now? Like I don't ever remember you not playing Pan. How long has it been now for you?
Wow, that's a good. I feel you trying to figure out my age again, but I've been playing Pan. Technically, I started late. I wish I started early. I tell people all the time, I wish I started when, like how my brother Jimmy started. He started when he was 2 years old, standing on a Crick's Pan, playing Pan. You could barely see him. But I started when I was 15. So I really started late. I didn't have the love and appreciation because, being a youth and listening to your parents' music was like, you know what I mean? You didn't like it so much because, like I said, I grew up in Jane and Finch. I would listen to R&B, hip hop, reggae, that sort of thing. So, and I grew up all along Jane Street. My mom's name is Jane, so she Jane Street for some reason. Jane and Lawrence, Jane and Chichui, Jane and Falstaff. Like we went all up Jane Street, right? So grew up with the hip hop and the urban music. So when I realized that, hey, I could actually take that urban music and put it on the Pan, that's when I said, yo, I'm in love with this thing here now. So it took me a while, but I'm full in it.
Now you mentioned, wanting to break from underneath, your father's apron strings and your bootstraps a little bit, so to speak, and having the exact same name as him,
Yeah,
just with the junior on the end.
yeah.
Tell me what that was like, and how it was, how you were able to find your own place and your own niche within the pan community.
Well, that was always the biggest problem because everybody expects, you're just like your father. But for me, it was like, I don't want to be just like my father. In anything, whether it's parenting, whether it's panning, whether, I don't want to be like Earl Pierre Sr. I want to be Earl Pierre Jr., the extraordinary steel panist. I had to come up with something different. ESP, Pan Man on Duty. I'm branding myself so different that some people don't even realize that I'm a junior. You know what I mean? So it's hard, but obviously because we're doing the same thing, people are always going to compare that, which is fine. Like I've gotten over it. Many of times people still call me junior, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I answered it still. I have to.
Well, you touched on it, ESP, the Extraordinary Steel Panist. Who gave you that name and why?
Man, I want to say that I gave myself that name, to be honest, because like I've always had a way with those things like ESP, SOS. Like I always came up
Hmm.
with stuff like that. And it's just been in me. Because originally I used to say ESP, Earl Superpower. You know what I mean? That was me in the beginning, from before Extraordinary Steel Planet. So I was like, how can I switch that to be something different? So I was like, and it just came to me one day, ESP, Extraordinary Steel Panus, because somebody did call me, wow, you just played that thing extraordinary well, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, you know what I mean? So it just fell into my lap. Always been good, even like KOS, Kingdom of Soca. We have always had acronyms like that always fell into gear, you know what I mean? Pan
So your
Arts Network,
father and your
PAN, Pan Arts
yeah,
Network. That's the next one that I came up with,
there you
It's like,
go. There you go.
yeah,
I gotta run off to the patent office before you get there.
boy, I better do that quick.
Now, obviously, pan runs in your family, music runs in your family, and your father, whether you grew up with him or not, obviously it was ingrained in your blood. Tell me how important it is. And after, coming off of the Walk of Excellence celebrations earlier on, how important it is to pass on this medium, this art form to the younger generations.
Very important. Understand, it's still consider a fascination. This drum here, no matter where you pull it out, people are gonna gravitate to it because they're like, "What is? Okay, wow!" And they're fascinated. They look under it to see if there's a recording, if it's plugged in. So the youths now, what I've experienced, because I do so many things with the Toronto District School Board myself. There's an fantastic event called PanFest, where they invite, and I'm gonna say it very slowly, 4 to 5 steel bands in 3 hours on a 5 day basis. So 5 days, 4 or 5 different steel bands. That's just to show you that there's so many steel bands in schools. And it's been around for almost 30 years. They've been doing this event. Fantastic event that I'm a special guest at. Imagine the school playing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Obviously, kids know that, but do they really want to play Mary Had a Little Lamb? And I told a couple of the instructors, I was like, listen, at the beginning of the year, ask your students what songs they like. Put it on the board. Write down all the names. You're going to get them involved. They're going to get fascinated. They're going to, you're going to get their attention. Write down all and listen to those songs. I guarantee out of those 50 you might get, 5, maybe 10 will be musical that you could play on pan. If you just do one of those songs, I'm guaranteeing you will double the amount of students that you have taking pans. And this was one school teacher that only had 6 people. The next year, he had 24 people playing pan, and his repertoire was totally different. So he wasn't hearing the typical Sound of Music, the stuff that he liked. You know what I mean? It was just programmed to him to do that. No, man, come out of the box, ask them what they like, and then you could still put those Sounds of Music and those other songs in there for them to play, and you'll see how much difference. So I'm so, it makes me proud to see that my dad was one of the people who was instrumental in bringing it, and how far it has come today.
Now, as far as music and pan in this city, you're basically a household name. Any other places in the world that you've been able to play pan? Where has pan taken you?
This beautiful instrument has had me travel the world. I tell people I've traveled almost to every one of the in Canada, all across from Moncton to Vancouver. I've traveled as far west as Hong Kong. I've traveled as far south as Africa, a French-speaking continent in Africa called Gabon. So I've traveled so many places. America, I've plenty of those states I've also traveled to. So because of this instrument, I've been able to tour all over the place, many Caribbean islands as well. So I appreciate that because I wanted to be a fireman when I was growing up. I wanted to be a fireman. You know what I mean? I swear to God, I wanted this because I wanted to slide on the pole. Whee! And be a fireman, but it's taken me all over the world.
Oh, fireman. Well, you've come a long way, and yes, you're blazing up the trails as far as pan here. Now, we talked about traveling with your steel pan. How is steel pan viewed here in the music scene here in Canada?
Well, you know what? Slowly but surely, it's integrating. One thing that like you said, the separation from my kind of style, from my dad's style, because I was doing the R&B and the hip hop. One of the biggest platforms that I performed on was a show that we used to call Electric Circus. It was a
Ah,
Carnival Friday back in the day when it was called something else, which we won't call it today. It was called something else. Carnival Friday. I was on the street, Queen Street, with Monica Dion, and his name is P something now, P Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever he calls himself now. Me and him was on the street, and I was playing pan, and I went into one of those mixes that I'd like to do. And I was one of the first people to actually mix music because of Kingdom of Soca. I always had great DJs behind me, and they would give me a soundtrack that was mixed, like they were mixing it in the club, and I would just be playing each song, and I destroyed the street. P Diddy was like, "Whoa, bro, that's crazy. That's yo," and I swear, the next 2 years, I was hearing pan influences in his songs. So
it's true.
talking about Canada now, I've done stuff with Cardinals. I've done stuff with Baby Blue. I have a gold record album on my wall because of Kid Cut from Baby Blue back in the day. Glenn Lewis, we did a track together. It was playing on all the stations here in Toronto. Just a little pan riff that Kid Cut came up with, and it went gold. And I have a gold record because of that. So you are getting the influences. People want a different sound in their music because everything is so digital now. There's an electronic pan that you could go into the studio and
Yep,
you don't
yep.
have to worry about the miking and all that sort of thing. So yes, it's taking place here in Canada and all over the world, man.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to our boys, Kid Cut. Yeah, another Kevin from heaven. Yeah, man, doing big things as another MC here in the community. And you yourself, you're no slouch on the mic either, hosting events. I see you doing your thing as well. And also, you're an independent promoter. Tell us more about KOS, Kingdom of Soca Entertainment.
Yeah, well,
You're a
that's where
busy
it
man.
started. Yeah, that's well, you know what? I like to be busy. My daughter, my eldest daughter is 25. All right. I
Woo,
used to work.
jeez.
Yeah.
Do it
Used
to
to work.
yourself, man.
It's okay. It's okay. At one with my age, I'm good with it. But she's 25. I remember this clearly. I used to work at Rogers. I asked them for the summer off just so I could do
Yeah.
pan because I was busy. They gave it to me 1 year. The second year, when I asked, they said no. I resigned immediately. I sent a message to the floor that I just got parole from this jail. So since then, it's been 20, almost 20 something years that I've been doing this full time as a musician. Three of my kids have gone through college already. I have one more that's waiting to go to university.
Look at
It
you.
has been doing me wonders. Kingdom Ahsoka was an entertainment company that Dr. J founded. He brought me in. I was the management, and then all of a sudden they heard that I had this voice. So I became the MC and management of Kingdom Ahsoka. That has taken us all over the world as well. Um,
Yep.
I've brought that to different things. Uncle E-Man, I've done the first ever Uncle E-Man's Kiddie Cruise, which was last year. It was
Yeah.
so
That was
great.
dope.
It sold out. The first cruise sold out in less than a day. When I added a second one, it sold out in 2 hours. Kids were on Enterprise 2000 having the greatest of a time. And because of the virtual thing, I did Uncle Eman's family pajama jam. And you wanted to see them on the camera, man. It just makes me feel good that I could bring these things that I've learned from doing events and that sort of thing. And I mentioned Pan Arts Network, PAN, once again, me and
Yeah.
Wendy Jones from Pan Fantasy. We have a team that we've been doing shows and concerts, steel band shows and concerts for the last close to 30 years as well. Snowflakes on Steel, Autumn Leaves, and then Sons of Steel was born. So yeah, it's good to be able to promote your culture and enjoy what you're doing. Just bringing it to people and seeing the reaction. We don't make money off this. I don't do this for the money like those promotions. It's not about the money. It's about seeing and having the culture, passing it on. Watching kids at Kiddies Carnival and that kind of thing. Just seeing the culture keep
Yeah.
going. I want to see kids start making this because I can't make it. You know what I mean? That's the next thing I would like to see kids getting their hands on how to make a steel drum. That's what we gotta show them. How to bend wire, how to paste thing or burn your finger. If you don't get a burn from a glue gun, then you never make no mass in your life. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that we need to teach our kids.
Any war wounds that you can get from playing steel pan? I know from some other, like in the guitar, you get that callus on your thumb, and drummers go through their issues. What does steel pan have to deal with? What are some of your issues?
You could get plenty if the hook go in your hand. If you're on the road and the truck stops, suddenly you get a bounce in your knee. A lot of people get that. You know what I mean? Like even the pan, like some of them are rusty. Some of them have the chrome sticking up. Yeah, man. You must have a medical kit. The alcohol in the yard. You put some alcohol on it. You band it up and tell them go back behind your pan. Go buy your pan. Stop crying. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, definitely.
It's funny you mentioned that. Any maintenance involved with a steel pan and upkeep?
Well, depending. For example, mine, not much because I'm not outside playing it every single day in the sun or it's being banged around. But summertime, the band, most definitely, those bases, some of them stay outside, painting, cleaning the rust off, retuning, obviously racks as well. They stay outside, they get rusty. The wood starts to rot. There's a lot of upkeep, especially in the summertime. That's where most of our fundraising goes, is to bringing the band on the road. A band like Afropan, which is anywhere between 60 to about 80 players, it takes a lot of money to get us on that road. And like we say, we've been always the people's band. You know what I mean? People would go play their mass and always come back down the road so they could take one more trip down the road with Afropan. And that's, like I said, I never was into pan as much, but I was always around it because my mom would go play mass. She'll stick me on the rhythm rack with the drums, sit down there, don't move. Come back 5-6 hours later, you're good. Here's an ice cream, here's a food. Come back again the next 5 hours. I mean, so it's something, man. It takes a lot. This is the first summer that I will not be in the pan yard. I'm still trying to adjust to that because of the COVID. Like I don't know.
Now, speaking of the pan yard, do you make your own pans, and has the process of making a steel pan changed over the years, which hasn't been very long either?
Well, it's the last century, so it's still considered the newest instrument in the 20th century, and we're going into the 21st century. It's still, there has been no other musical instrument invented. But can I make one? I wish. I've made one out of a apple juice can back in the day.
How did that turn out?
Yeah, I got a good note. Use a pencil and you hammer it till you get that sound. But to make this, whoa, it takes a lot of training. I wish I can. And like I said, I wish kids would actually take up that, because there's schools in Chicago, Illinois that teach you how to make and tune pans. So it's out there. I just hope that in Trinidad there are more of it happening.
Well, the kids are watching, adults are watching, lovers of steel pan are tuned in right now to none other than Earl LaPierre Jr., pan man on duty. And oh man, he's ready to tickle our ears right now with the sweet sounds of pan. He's fresh off a new haircut, looking good. Let's see if he's going to be sounding sweet here this morning. I'm going to shut up, sir. The floor is yours.
All right.
Tickle my ear.
Thank you. It's going to be a little difficult sitting down and playing because of the camera and thing, but we're going to make it work, right? Because that's what we do.
People, Earl LaPierre Jr.
Let me just take it back.
To Toronto Carnival Chat. I'm your host, Kevin Carrington. And Earl LaPierre on there. We go. Hey.
To go on the road. Who's ready to go on the road? Put your hands in here. Let me see some hands. Let me go. You know why? I'm the happiest pan man alive. I want somebody to say whoa. Get ready. Somebody say whoa. Oh. Say yeah. Somebody say whoa. Say yeah. How you mean? You see me? I'm E-Man. Come to play some steel pan. You see me? I'm E-Man. I want you to do me a favor. Let's put your right hand in the air and shake it like this. Put your hands in the air. Because we don't have no time for no worries. We don't have no time for no stresses. You see me? I have love on my mind. I love each and every one of you. Toronto Carnival. If you're ready for the virtual launch today, let me go. 1, 2, 3. Bounce, bounce. We ready for Toronto Carnival 2020 virtual style? Put on your costumes, come and play some pan, enjoy yourself. It's gonna be great. Same way, you understand? Once we have life, we're doing this, right? Hands in the air, hands in the air. That's how we do it, man. Virtual style.
Sounding sweet, bro. Looking good and sounding sweet, ladies and gentlemen. World Toronto Caribbean Carnival, Earl Pierre Jr. Ask for him by name, aka the Pan Man on duty. Man, what does the future hold for you, man? What's next for E-Man? What's next for you, sir?
Honestly, the future is bright for everybody, not just me. You just need to know what you want. Just go for it, reach out for it, ask a question, try a thing, you know what I mean? And that's what we Caribbean people do. We always try a thing, you know what I mean? So I just gonna push my culture as far as I could push it. I have something called Pancast, like you said, on Pan Man on Duty. You could Google me, SoundCloud. It's a mix, soca mix with Pan. One of my favorite DJs here in Toronto, DJ Kevin Lodgep himself, a brilliant young DJ. We mix like 20 minutes of jamming tunes, and I call it Pancast, like a podcast, but it's all on Pan. I'm about to feature another one, volume number 2. Probably do a reggae one, so you could do your reggae exercises. What's the name of the show again?
Reggae Size.
Reggae Size. You never know, you might just and reggae size down the places on Pan. You understand? You see, this is what we're talking about, branding. This is what the future is. It's all about branding, marketing. Support everybody. You know what I mean? Support everybody. Support Kevin. Support Sons of Steel. Let me just support one another, man. Let's work together for each other.
Much love, brother. Much love. There's a young Pana sitting in his bedroom in Japan, is sitting in his living room in Australia, on his veranda out in Trinidad. Any advice you have for them?
Keep practicing. That's the most important thing. Practice, practice, practice as much as you may not like, because I'm a person, I really don't like to practice. COVID has me practicing so much because I have 2 virtual shows. And now it's different than going to a restaurant and playing every Friday, where I could probably play She's Royal every Friday if I wanted to, because I know Kevin will come to Island Mix on this Friday, probably won't come for another 4 months. You know what I mean? But being social like this on virtual, I'm seeing the same people tuning in every week. So obviously I can't do that. You know what I mean? So practice, learn more music. There's so much music out there. You know, it's not only about the songs about today. Look at those songs of yesteryears. Like even that song, that's not a brand new song by Marshall, but every time you play it, you're going to get a forward. Yesterday I played Pump Me Up. You want to see Kevin wind down the place. You know what I mean? So let's practice, practice, practice.
Swire, what can I say, man? Shout outs to all of our Bajans, and shout outs to all our Bajans who are lovers of Steel Pan. Woo, bro.
Honestly, I am one of the biggest fans of Crossfire. Edwin Yearwood, I say give him his flowers before. I don't like to give people things after they're gone. Edwin Yearwood is the most consistent soca artist in the world. Honestly, that brother, there's one song that I have, Voices in My Head. That is my favorite song of all times. I tell him this all the time. You see how you open your eyes? The Green album, Voices in My Head. Go on YouTube or whatever. Listen to the lyrics in that song. That song, if you play it today in anywhere, COVID city, people will understand what's going on, man. All right?
Listen, Edwin got a tune until we meet again, until we... Oh, bro, it reduced me to tears.
Yes, every
tears.
Time. Every time.
Tears, man. The man is sounding so sweet, man.
Every time.
Earl Pierre Jr., all the best to you throughout COVID. Brother, you're looking good. I feel like I got to meet you all over again. When I see you, I make sure I can give you a big hail, a foot bunks, everything, man. But all the best to you. All the best to the Kingdom of Soca family and to the whole Pan family across the world. Thanks so much, and we look forward to seeing you on our virtual road come Saturday, August 1st. Hey, you know what, brother? Love you, man. Take care. All the best.
Thank you much. Much love to you guys as well. Toronto Carnival, let's do this. Let's get it, man.